Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at the Potter County ballot, and I think it is time to turn things over to Mr. Torch, and he is going to take us through the 7th Court of Appeals District 4 race and the State Board of Education District 15 race. So we are going to go ahead and start with that 7th Court of Appeals race. So if those candidates would like to make their way to the podium. And then right after that, the State Board of Education. And Mr. Denny gets side by side. All right. All right. And take it away. I'll be back for the Railroad Commission, so get ready.
Did you want to come up here and start with some opening statements, introduce yourself? Sure. I get 1 minute. Yes, sir. You got it. Guys, I'm a Christian. I am a volunteer firefighter. I am an EMT. I serve the citizens of Potter County already. I'm an attorney, and that's what qualifies me to be your 7th Court of Appeals Justice. None of you care. You didn't come here to hear me speak. But you've heard of, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be held against you, right? Miranda versus Arizona. What gives you the right to kill an unborn child? Roe versus Wade. Those are appellate opinions, and it's important who you have on the Court of Appeals, and it's important that the person that you elect represents your values. You want somebody that has never voted in the Democrat primary for that position. I'm Steve Denny. I want to be your 7th Court of Appeals Justice. So, okay. There's another candidate running against you, correct?
There.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought so too. So you get to answer these questions by yourself. So tell us why you decided to run for the Court of Appeals.
Does this one work? I'm more comfortable with this instead of the podium. I actually announced to run by filing a treasurer appointment back in August, whenever I heard that Justice Campbell wasn't running anymore. I knew that I was one of about 5 attorneys in Amarillo that write so many appeals, and there wasn't anybody more qualified. So I knew I was it, and I applied. The governor appointed my opponent 4 days prior to the filing period opening, and I don't agree with who he picked.
All right. What distinguishes you from the other candidate?
That's easy. I have handled criminal cases my entire career. I have handled criminal cases in almost every district court in this district. I am a trial attorney. I was in trial all last week on an aggravated assault on a family member with serious bodily injury in Hereford. And the best referees, which is basically what a justice does, they referee fights between lawyers, the best referees are players who have played the game. I don't know how you expect to referee a fight between trial lawyers over what happened in a district court if you don't spend time at a district court. And that's what I've spent my career doing.
Mr. Brown spoke about the report that came out in Potter County regarding abuses to the 6th Amendment rights of individuals who are accused of a crime. These cases may come before you in the Court of Appeals. What is your stance on this situation?
I can't speak to specific issues about cases that might come before me as a justice. I can tell you that I take the 6th Amendment very seriously. I take court-appointed cases, and I'm a 20-year veteran of the criminal system. People that have done this as long as I have don't generally still take court-appointed cases for $400 on a misdemeanor. But I do it because I think everyone deserves a lawyer that is the quality that I am. And thank you. And I think that that's important. So if that tells you how I would answer that question if I could, I hope it does.
Awesome. So I guess if you just want to say anything else.
It's getting late. You guys know what I stand for. I'll be out back if you have any questions.
I believe we're doing the State Board of Education next. Now we have John here. I'm going to go ahead and let John just kind of take the mic and say what he needs to say because he's got this.
Good evening, West Texas. My name is John Betancourt, and I am the Democratic candidate for the State Board of Education for District 15. District 15 encompasses 77 West Texas counties. This race is important to me because I believe in public education. I believe in our teachers, I believe in our retirees, and I believe in our students. I believe the state needs to adequately fund public education. I just completed a 4-year term with Amarillo ISD Board of Trustees, and I learned in my service in the 4 years that the real change comes at the state level. My name is John Betancourt, and I would love to be your representative in Austin.
So we got one question for John Betancourt. After the election, what does the State Board of Education want from the electorate?
I told myself at the beginning of this race that I wanted to keep politics out of this campaign. In this campaign, I do not see party. I do not see Republican, Democrat. I do not see liberals, conservatives, independents. I see kids, and I see teachers, and I want to make it my mission to help them. I learned in serving with AISD that the average homeless person in Amarillo is 9 years old. I heard that Potter County has the highest amount of child abuse cases in the state. And to me that hits home because I'm an uncle and I care about our region and our state. And as far as what does, after the election, what does the State Board of Education look to the electorate? To me, at the end of the day, I want to do what's important for kids. I want to make sure that we totally fund public education adequately, that we start looking at the curriculum standards, the TEKS, reducing standardized tests, and that we take care of our retirees. Because it's a sad day when I learn of a retiree that cannot afford to take or pay for their medications. My name is John Betancourt, and I appreciate your support.
All right, I think that's all the questions. Thank you, John. And I think we're going to turn it over to Thomas so he can introduce the congressional candidates here in a moment.
Okay, so before we do railroad commission, I know we have lots of candidates here for Randall County Republican Chair, so if we want to do that, please make your way to the stage, and we'll do, for that one, we'll just do little brief introductions, and we'll give you all 2 minutes for your introductions and a closing statement. That's special. Yeah, not everyone gets that, but please make sure you sign our sign so we can have that memento, and we will get y'all up here. Okay, instead of doing a strange opening statements, followed by closing statement set up. Why don't we just do 2 minutes for your introduction, and that's how you can present yourself to voters. Does that sound good? All right. Go ahead. Oh. So the first candidate up is the incumbent Tim Revelle.
First thing I'd like to do is thank the Pioneer for having this, then thank you for coming. The job of county chair is to get Republicans elected. And they organize most of the things that go on within the county. Recently, I was had a spinal injury, and the Monday before Thanksgiving, I couldn't walk, so I did a lot of the ballot stuff from my hospital bed because it needed to be done. We had people that needed to have their jobs, and all the precinct chairs needed to be put on the ballot, as well as the commissioners and constables and tax collector and things like that. So I'm very dedicated. I am a retired physician, and I have devoted the full-time job to taking care of Randall County, and I would appreciate your vote. Thanks.
And now for the challenger, Kara Hendricks.
Thank you. My name is Kara Hendricks. I'm born and raised in Randall County. Okay. So I want to be the Randall County chairman because when I was trying to get involved in Randall County politics, I found it so impossible to find out when and where and what was going on and to become involved. When I looked at the website, it was very old. It still listed old candidates and old forums, and there was no information. You look at the website, it looks like it's from 1995 and the old Amazon website. So my goal for running for this position is to modernize the Republican county information so that people that want to get involved can be involved. And in my process of campaigning, I found several women that are my age that had the serious question of, well, which party is it that is for abortion? And I was just shocked, because for me, I know that the Republican Party stands for life. But these women had no idea. And if the Republican Party of Randall County cannot reach out to the women of Randall County and tell them, we are the party of life, we are falling down on the job. And I can do that. I can reach out to the women and to the voters of Randall County and represent us and modernize our outreach. And again, my name is Kara Hendricks. I have a master's degree from Southern Methodist University. And Tim is a fine, fine man. Everyone in Randall County loves our county and wants to work hard for us. We just need something different, something better. Thanks, and I appreciate your vote.
Those are your candidates for Randall Republican Chair. And now we will move on to Railroad Commission. So candidates like to make their way to the stage. So, we have our candidate here. Please welcome from the Democratic primary, Krista Castaneda.
Good evening, Amarillo. I'm Krista Castaneda, and I am running for the Texas Railroad Commission. which has not one thing to do with railroads, and it has everything to do with oil and gas, and that's where I come in. I'm an engineer, I'm an attorney, and I have spent 30 years in and around the business. I have represented landowners, I have represented companies big and small. I won $146 million for T. Boone Pickens, if anybody's heard of T. Boone Pickens. Anybody heard of T. Boone Pickens? Oh, yeah. All right. Here's what I know. How many people here think it's a really good idea to follow the Texas Constitution? Come on, some hands. I'm a trial lawyer, you gotta raise your hands. I'm not putting anybody on jury duty though. Second thing is, how many people here think it's a good idea to light on fire over $1 billion of natural gas every year? Yeah, I'm not seeing any hands on that. Does it make any sense to light on fire the natural gas that our Constitution says we have to protect and preserve, and we're spending billions of dollars to go get it, and yet we are lighting it on fire the minute it comes out of the ground? Here's what I know. As an engineer, I know that we can do better. I know that we can do better by, gotta say one thing, I know we can do better by turning that natural gas to electricity there on the well site and using it to power oil and gas operations. It is not an all or nothing proposition. I'm Krista Castañeda. I have the ideas that are gonna help out all of Texas. Thank you. Sorry.
All will scoot around. And so I know we got this question in online. Would you support renaming the Texas Railroad Commission?
I would support renaming the Texas Railroad Commission. I think it's really a good idea for things to be called what they do. So it ought to be called the Texas Oil and Gas Commission or the Texas Energy Commission. Oklahoma calls it the Oklahoma Corporations Commission because it oversees the corporations that do oil and gas. So yes, I definitely think we should be renaming it.
And would you like to make a closing statement?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in a small town in Kansas. I'm an Aggie, although it was Kansas State where I got my engineering degree, not Texas A&M. I understand things other than what goes on in the cities. I understand what goes on in Potter County. My family, my maiden name Stallwitz, is from Dumas. So I've been out here, I grew up out here in the summers, and I want to represent all of Texas. I'm concerned about pragmatic things. I'm not concerned about Republican versus Democrat. I'm concerned about how can we do the best thing for all of Texas. How can we recapture what we are spending billions of dollars to go get and put it to use for all of Texas? How can we make sure our electricity supply is protected? How can we make sure that our water is clean? These are all concerns of the Texas Railroad Commission, and I want to be your next statewide Texas Railroad Commissioner. So please consider voting for me, Krista Castañeda, on the Democratic primary ballot if you're a Democrat, and if not, I'll see you in November, and I hope to earn your vote then.